Hello, Potato Rat here. Previously I tried to raid tombs without dying. It goes as well as expected within the first 30 minutes of the game. Regardless, I pushed on and went on a race against an evil doctor and may have inadvertently started a catastrophe. Immediately after taking a knife, the cave started shaking. Initially I thought it was going to be an escape level, but turns out leaving the cave was pretty much a walk in a park.
Shit. Jonah, get to higher ground.
Oh no, you took it, didn't you?
Hurry.
They're on their way. Who? Dr. Dominguez and more men. Apparently we found what we're looking for. Great. The siege begins. Yeah, that's what the reinforcements are for.
Yes, I heard you, okay? Dominguez is coming tonight. I get it. What I'm telling you is the rain is gonna flood it.
After getting out of the cave with no harm though, I ran into a menacing guy just checking the water pump, so I gave him a free acupuncture. Just a single stab. I started to feel a little bad when his buddy thought he was being ghosted.
How's it going with that pump? Answer me!
But that all went away when they started to kill the unsuspecting locals. To me, this was no longer about slipping away. It was time to create some destruction. At first, my lack of planning seemed to go well. I became one with the vines and snuck up to the baddies. But then it started to become a mess. I missed my headshot and only gave a grievous wound. I snuck up to another guy in front of the others. I also scurried around like a rat in a gunfight, and then even more baddies dropped into the fray by the helicopter. In fact, there were even some explosions being thrown around, so it was pretty surprising I survived this entire level by bringing a bow into a gunfight. But then, I guess things got better once I discovered guns as well.
She's killing our people! Fuck! Copy that! Target sighted! Epsilon team!
Always hated helicopters.
Intruder ahead!
After cleaning up the mess, we got ambushed by even more bad man. Turns out you needed a box as well to properly cleanse the planet, which was being hidden by our heroine. Cleansing the world aside, we would have almost thought Mr. Bad Guy was on the right side when he showed even more concern about there being no way to control the disasters.
Falls to me now to stop it before it consumes us all.
And then he just left us alone, which is some wild timing when a giant flood starts to overtake the town, which becomes a whole segment that kind of feels like river rafting, except you die. I also threw in this clip because of how eerie it was for me to go through this underwater segment. On top of not liking deep caves, I also heavily dislike deep water. Why am I even playing this game? Phobias aside though, this was a pretty fun level to be honest, especially this segment where we run on the floating wreckage. But this pacing kind of sadly got ruined by the amount of times I died. My dying streak didn't stop there too when a sad moment happened in the game. But then the emotional impact of this scene was lessened when I died after it, and then reset it again, multiple times. Eventually, we made our way to relative safety and reunited with our friend Mr. Ponytail. His name is also Jonah, by the way. There was an argument on what they should do next, and then we ended up on a plane ride. Oh right, remember the previous video? All those parts we were just playing through? It was actually just a flashback to 2 days earlier, before the plane became 2 planes. We also had a pilot friend named Miguel. Don't mind the past tense. Turns out there was also a huge storm, but we're no cowards. We're actually going to face this plane head on and... We soon wake up in the forest with monkeys everywhere. With how foggy it initially was with lots of bushes around, I expected there would be some surprise attack from some beast, so I kind of snuck around in the forest, but there wasn't any beast. Anyways, exiting that part of the dense forest led to a moment I could almost picture the game title popping overhead, like Breath of the Wild or some other game. We soon also find our first objective in this forest, to find Jonah, who fired the flare gun. Or it might have been Miguel, but we don't know him as much. After jumping across trees, observing monkeys, and monkeying around, we ran into a campsite. The impression I got from this was that these campsites were hubs where you get to upgrade skills and craft tools, also because it's literally on the screen. Since offense was the best defense, I upgraded any skills that would help me in my aggressions. Of course, being aggressive can only get you so far, which is why you also need tools. We make a knife out of a plane propeller, but not before getting jump scared by a damn eel and using our spidey senses for the materials. Making our way back to the campsite, we craft our DIY knife and also discover the ability to change clothes. Which is good considering all the grime and dirt from exploring around. I went for the best outfit, one that inspires so much confidence that you could never change expressions in the face of difficulties. Feeling brave, I cross over the gorge and begin my search for whoever shot that flare gun. For some reason, Lara knew we would be looking for Miguel. Oh hi, Miguel. Actually, you wouldn't be able to tell from this video, but that jump scare actually did scare the shit out of me. I predicted there would be some hostile predators, and also the pilot dude not to survive since he barely appeared, but just not the way it was executed. Well done, game developers. The next 15 minutes was probably the most stressful point so far in this game for me, and it wasn't even raiding the tombs. It was every time those monkeys were rustling around, I thought a leopard was going to ambush me right from behind.
To be careful here. Damn it.
I started to feel relief when I saw a clearing in the jungle, but it also meant there was going to be some fights coming up, and if it was a fight those pussycats wanted, then it's a fight they will get. Though being bad at aiming made this a lot more challenging. So why aim the bow when you can just stab the leopard? Seeing its friend is dead, the other leopard just drags it limp up the cliff. Surely we won't see it again, right? After this nightmare experience, I blew off some steam. And upon finding the plane wreckage, we also reunite with our beloved Hatchet, and also Jonah. After some heartfelt moments, we began to look for refuge.
See that?
It must be Kwakyaku. We have to get down there.
There were some dangerous cliffs we had to scale across, and also a pretty fun puzzle that made me feel like a genius after taking some time to solve it. And after overcoming all this, we were reunited with a friend as well.
On 3, 2, 1.